very involved in with the strategic plan. We've been working on this for over a year now, or just about a year now, and everyone here has given lots of input. We've had lots of opportunities to give input, and so our focus for today is to hear final feedback and vote on the strategic plan that we would bring forward to the full board on our May 26th meeting. At our May 26th meeting, we will, between now and then, we will not have any substantive changes but for the plan. So whatever you approve will be going to them. The only changes would be errors and typos, things like that, or formatting, just making sure that it's all, packaged well and something that we can, display publicly. But other than that, what comes today, unless there are major changes individuals are looking to make, will be going to be presented to the full board at that meeting. And if we have time, Abby will run through what the agenda of that meeting will look like, so you all have a preview of what that is. So yeah, the goal for today is really just to get final feedback and call a vote. A couple of things I want to start with, just for folks' awareness, is we are looking at making a couple of bylaw changes. Just due to capacity, Abby and I are not going to take this up at the May 26th meeting, but at our fall meeting, just because we're going to obviously be voting on the full plan at this next meeting. So we don't want to just keep adding more things to the agenda. But the big thing would be adding into our bylaws a yearly review or check-in on the strategic plan, so that if for some reason it's not, we need to make tweaks in terms of timing or in terms of direction for a specific committee, et cetera, that we would have the opportunity once a year to make some of those changes, just because obviously we're creating the timeline for everything now. But, as you all know, as the work happens, certain things take less time, certain things take more time, and we might need to adjust. And then every 3 years, be able to take a deeper look into the principles that are guiding the plan and make some substantive changes there. The other thing that we're going to be interested in instituting, but we would take any feedback on this, is now that once we approve this plan, the board will people will understand at least their role in the board, their committee role in the board, and instituting an attendance policy for meetings, just because we've been fairly lax about attendance, because we recognize that the board has been in flux since the pandemic, but engagement will be crucial moving forward. And following the strategic plan, we're looking to do some sort of attendance policy. This is not like new to workforce boards. Most boards around the country have this, but something that we have never instituted. So just keeping that on your radar. We're not going to propose those changes at the next meeting. We'll do it at the fall meeting, but I just wanted you all to kind of be aware. So I say the first part just so that, if there's things in the plan that you're nervous about, we'll have an opportunity every year to just make sure that we're moving the right direction. And I think our focus is really at this point, not letting perfect be the enemy of the good and getting started on doing some of the work. So I'll turn it over to Adam for some remarks, and then we'll take any feedback. And then we'll call a vote if there's not major changes that need to be made.
Great, thanks, Tori. So yeah, the work that we're reviewing, we've all seen in its development throughout the different stages. We anticipate today is this final high level review, bringing this to the full board. Many of the members of the full board have participated on the various committees that have gone into creating the work. So this is understood, and the process has been extensive. That Tori and Abby have fought for this. This is the documents will help the board understand, as Tori just explained, the role that some of the board has in this. And this will really set up the board for sort of its next big thing, which is really envision what's that governance coming out of the side report, and some significant changes like the store for the board. with changes such as board size, the composition, the way in which it governs. So, this is a good bridge to that, and it's going to make it very helpful for the staff to be able to implement and communicate with the board. Looking forward to other comments and moving toward approval. Corey, just a note on the attendance matter with the bylaw change. Do we envision if someone is not attending and moved, division replacing that person? You're muted, don't forget.
It wouldn't be like a one strike system.
Sure.
It would be, something to the effect of regular engagement. If someone sent a proxy to a meeting, that would be fine. I think we would be flexible on what that would look like, and we'll probably look at what other boards do, but it would be, if you miss 2 out of the 3 meetings of the year, or you miss 3 meetings a year, probably are not as committed to the board, and that's fine, but we would probably ask them to step aside unless there was an extenuating circumstance.
Yeah, and I think for this group here, operating committee, let's put a pin in ensuring that we're creating agendas for that full board that makes that board feel like they can be engaged, they want to be engaged, and that's what's behind a lot of the work that you and Abby are creating, and I think is the real key to having engaged, not necessarily the attendance. It's just make sure that those meetings are worth their time.
Exactly.
Right, so do you want to walk through, or add whoever's going to walk us through, or maybe we can short circuit this a little bit and say, let's just spin it for discussions specifically. I don't know how you, Tori or Abby, plan to manage that part of this.
Yeah, you've all seen the plan now. Probably you're sick of getting emails from Abby and I a million times. I think we'll just open it up for discussion before calling a vote. Ellen?
Yeah, so first off, thank you so much for all of clearly the big effort that you put into it. It definitely shows that you spent a lot of time. So really good effort. I am particularly pleased to see that there's some graphics in there. I think it's really helpful, and especially documents of this size, to have some graphics. So well done on those. I did find it a little bit challenging to be able to go through and provide comments and edits because of the way that it came to us in these blocks. So I don't know if that's a formatting issue. I did go through, I haven't made it all the way through, but got through a good chunk of it and have some just minor typos and stuff like that I'm happy to provide if I could get it in a little bit of in a format that would give me a better commenting ability.
Okay.
I think it's great that in that approach paragraph before you get into the plan, you clarify there that this is not a strategic plan for the workforce system as a whole, but for the board and its work. And I'm just wondering if there's a way to possibly have that up in the opening letter or the opening piece as well, just again, sort of for the reader's perspective, like to hit them first off when they're reading through this, like, what am I reading? Oh, right, I'm reading a plan that is for the board and its work, not transforming the whole system, but that there's a correlation between these things. So
yeah,
somehow
I'm going to likely include that type of framing in the governor's letter. Obviously,
Okay.
put a placeholder for that. But then, I can add something to add in my letter, so it's just clarified further. But yeah.
Yeah. So I'll stop there, but good effort, and I'm happy to provide you with some additional little tweaks.
Yes, the formatting is very wonky on this, so we can figure out a way to send it to you so it's a little easier. The reason it's like that is because Abby and I basically took the format from the Connecticut strategic plan, and how we did that was we put it into a PDF and then like turned it into a Word document. So everything's in text boxes. So it just like, Abby is like the formatting queen. If I touch things, she'll like come in here and kill me. So we'll figure out a way to
Just-
send it to you.
Why don't you
that
send
makes
it to
sense.
me? Send it to me actually send it to me in the PDF, because I can edit. I can add comments in PDF. That's much
Okay.
easier.
We'll do that.
So it looks like Joyce has her hand up.
Sorry, and I was on mute too. I'm assuming that you're gonna do an executive summary, because I think one of the things that, there only a few people are gonna read through the whole document. And I think really putting together like a one-page executive summary or front and back of an executive summary is going to be really important if you want it to have, it be widely read. And I was thinking, you really have to put it in. You have to, I think if the executive summary could include the chart that shows,
Like the
yeah,
strategy and milestones.
on page 9.
Yep.
I think if the executive summary, maybe a executive summary on page 1 and page 2 is sort of that chart. I found that chart really helpful because I could quickly look at what I could get to what you were really talking about with a lot of narrative. So I think thinking about an executive summary
Okay.
is important. The other thing I would encourage you to do, only because I do this you've seen this so many times. Is there an outside editor that you could have that just could read through it? Because I think that when you look at something so many times, you read what it's supposed to say, and an outside editor might say, I don't know what you mean by that, or you can take out some of these words or whatever. So I would just encourage you, if it's going to really be seen by a lot of different audiences, you might want to do that. And that's not a criticism of anybody here. And I know Ellen's a good editor, but I think having someone who's totally uninvolved is really helpful, and it might be worth the investment, just to have someone look through it.
We've got some comms folks in the office who are gonna take a look at it, who have not been involved in the process at all. So I think that'll be helpful. But yes, agreed, because it is. I think I could probably start to recite this at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is good feedback. And I think, yes, in the executive summary, the other thing that we're going to put together so that it's just like a operational document for everyone on the board and for executive directors for future to come, is basically like a month by month to-do list that has all of the deadlines for each of the milestones, so that each month people understand exactly what is supposed to happen on this month, just because it's a lot to look through the document and be like, what's supposed to happen in May of 2024. So we'll have that as well. So just, in terms of actually executing on the plan, we'll know what's due, when it's due, and, can foreshadow that work. Other comments from folks?
Tori, I would just add that, I'm assuming you're going to want us to vote today to approve this. And I would just say that we should maybe make the motion in a way that keeps some of this open so you can make edits. Again, minor edits, right, that are, not substantial. So, maybe saying, we approve the framework and the document, except for any minor edits, that come through by way of, having other people read it, grammatical errors, things like that.
Yeah.
Is that a motion?
Sure, I can make it unless some people have more conversation.
Well, let's get a motion and wrap conversation and then discuss.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the document, except for any minor feedback, edits that are not substantive to the document.
Okay, motion. Second. Joyce is a second. Sorry, Lindsay. Thank you. How about some discussion? Any further comments, questions? Ellen?
Yeah, Lindsay, I'm just wondering, there's all this feedback going on. I don't know if everyone is hearing it. It's a little hard to talk. Lindsay, it's so fantastic that you guys provided that response to the RFP for getting more people of color into the workforce and retaining everything by contracting with Vermont Professionals of Color Network. So awesome. Thank you. And I'm wondering, I noticed we have Susanna Davis's office here, the Racial Equity Task Force. I'm also wondering whether there's a potential connection to be made with Vermont POC Network in this, that we might want to call out and name in this document, given the
Yes.
current situation.
So we included, I'm blanking on specifically which section it is now, but we included, we didn't, the vendor wasn't specified at the time. We can probably call them out by name now, that we would have like a regular reporting or convening with the, I don't remember what the specific language is, with the vendor selected by ACCD. That's called out in the plan. And then Susanna's office, I will say for everyone, has reviewed this, given us feedback. And those were some of the final changes that we made before the Friday document was sent. So just so everyone's aware there.
I think 2.3, Tori.
Yeah.
Okay, great suggestion. To hear that's in place. Any other comments or questions? Okay, we had a motion, seconded discussion. All those in favor of the approval of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, thank you, everybody. Tori, any victory lap? I mean, any further?
Well, I just want to say thank you all. I know Abby and I are often in your inboxes, so we really appreciate you taking the time to read our emails and help us with this plan. This is born out of information that you all have given us and your feedback, and we're just really excited to get to work. Before we adjourn, and if those, like Lindsay, if you need to hop off to get back in the meeting, that's fine. Abby's just going to run through quickly the agenda for the May 26th meeting so that everyone is on the same page.
I am going to run, and it's great to see you all. You're sure you're all set with me?
Yes. Enjoy Franklin County.
I'm enjoying it already. Thank you.
Great. So just so everyone's aware, our meeting is going to be next Friday, May 26th. We've booked the room at the Waterbury State Office Complex from 8:30 to roughly 1 p.m. So we're going to have folks showing up around 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Again, this is on the agenda that we'll send out again as a reminder, but we're going to have registration and light food will be provided just for a chance for folks to meet and network. We've had a few new board members that have joined since the last time we've met in person. And then we're going to be having guest presentations for the first half of the meeting. We're going to have folks from the Vermont National Guard and then Vermont Works for Women that are going to be presenting for about an hour in total. And then we're going to have another break. And then the second half of the meeting is really going to be dedicated to the strategic plan. And again, this will be more answering any final questions and talking about next steps and executing the plan, and not so much receiving feedback from folks. And then there will be an optional lunch around noon if folks want to stick around, since we'll be obviously having you for a little bit longer than we normally do. And then we're really encouraging attendance. The meeting is going to be in person. We haven't announced this yet, but we are going to be streaming the meeting, but there's not going to be any option to engage if you're on the Teams line. So it's really not an interactive portion, but if folks really can't attend, then there will be a remote option, but not an opportunity to engage. So we're really trying to encourage folks to be in person. So if you are unable to make it, please send someone on your behalf, just for attendance purposes.
Also come hungry. We've ordered a lot of food from Red Hen for everyone as a treat.
Really good food.
And otherwise it'll go to the constituent services folks in the governor's office, who wouldn't be upset if you guys didn't eat it, but I'm sure it'd be good to eat. Dustin?
You may want to check the rules. I think you have to have connectivity, remote connectivity aspect.
Like
So
remote participation, we're gonna stream it.
Yeah, so we'll have a Teams line open so folks can hop in, but we weren't planning on unmuting anyone, but obviously if we have to, then we can, but we're just really trying to encourage folks to come in person.
Yeah, because as you all know, the last year in May, it was tough to navigate the hybrid situation, so trying to mitigate that.
Dustin, it's Heather. Do you mean to meet
Teams.
open meeting law? I'm wondering if that's what Dustin is referencing.
It's either open meeting law, it's either our open meeting law or it's in the WIOA guidelines. But just we always had to play with it, and we would do it.
All right, we'll
I
just
just wanna
keep it,
check
we'll
up.
I
just,
think, yeah, regardless, there will be a Teams meeting open. There's been an invite, and if we need to have a period designated to public comment, we can definitely do that, but we're really trying to encourage folks to come in person.
yeah, we are hesitant to advertise it that way just because a lot of people will prefer to take the remote option, as I'm sure you all know, so but yes, we'll make sure we're in compliance with all of those, with all the open meeting and
Okay.
video laws.
Dustin, I'm not sure if you're saying anything else, but it's breaking up.
I'm not.
Tor, didn't open this meeting, or we can just end this meeting. Is that right? Right?
Yep.
Okay. I think we've gotten through our agenda items. I'd close this by thanking Tori and Abby for all of the work that they put into this. The formatting, the data, the outreach, the level of communication coming out this office is exceeding past experiences for members, for people who are engaged, and I think we're really building groundswell of support for future and this has been a great start. So, congratulations on this work.
Thank you all.
Great job, everyone.
Tori and Abby, guys, stick around for 2 minutes.
Yep.
All right, I think we're officially adjourned. Thank you, everybody, and look forward to seeing you in person next week.
Thank you.